All right, hello, wine drinking people. It's time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and this is a review of a tasting we did at Cafe Max, one of our every other Wednesday tastings. You know, we try to make it around the wide world of wine. There's a lot of places making great wines today, and well, most people don't realize South Africa, one of the world's largest wine producing countries, well, they're number 8 on the scale. The United States is number 4, but South Africa's been making wine for several hundred years, and these guys make some very good wines, but somewhat misunderstood. I think most people don't understand they're old world wines. They're not new world wines. They're not like Australian wines that are big and fruity. These wines have a lot of earthiness to them. They're tannic, they're dry, they're wines that are meant to be cellared, the better wines, and you know, they're really interesting wines. I would have to say South Africa, one of the more exciting areas in terms of what's going on new. And for me, I mean, I haven't had a lot of experience drinking South African wine, so I'm always interested to find what's the latest and greatest things that are available in this market. I remember Cape Classics when I was selling wine for Republic National. We sold those wines, and I thought, man, they were so exciting. There was some really neat stuff in that portfolio, and I think they've kind of fallen. People were getting excited, and then they kind of fell out a little while. And maybe people are coming back and getting a little more excited about South Africa. And we had 35 people at this tasting. A revelation for a South African tasting here at Cafe Max. Usually it's one of the smaller turnouts, but I think people are fairly interested. We had a couple of South Africans actually show up too, which was nice to see, people that knew more about South African wine than I did. So I got to learn a little bit about some of the latest and greatest things coming out from South Africa. And hey, I learned from wines about wines from a lot of our customers. There are a lot of people out there that, like I said, are bigger experts on an area like South Africa than I am. But some very good wines on this evening. The first wine we had was Little Bouchard Finlayson Blanc de Mer. And they claim this is the only Riesling-dominated white blend in all of this area. And I'm inclined to believe I'm not an expert on Riesling blends or train wreck whites, which is what I call this, because this has got like 6 different white wines in it. Viognier, Chenin Blanc, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Semillon, in addition to predominantly Riesling. But this got a nice, delicious, kind of fragrant bouquet, a little bit of peach and apple, some tropical kiwi, layers of kind of gooseberry on the finish. Very fresh, a little bit of residual sugar in there, but a very pleasant wine. It's $17.82. The Groot Constantia Sauvignon Blanc. This is one of the regions, one of the first wine I've had from Constantia, kind of right next to Stellenbosch off to the east a little bit here. And this is the west, sorry. This is the oldest winery in South Africa. It dates back to 1685. Wow, they've been making wine a long time in South Africa. This wine is very Loire-like on the nose, kind of grapefruit and tropical passion fruit, kiwi notes, fresh green herbs. Focuses, though, on that ripe tropical fruit, though. Very forward and seductive, a racy wine on the palate. A little bit of a briny quality there, keeping things fresh and savory on the finish, but that kiwi and grapefruit fruit showing through all the way to the end. A really nice little wine, some green herb notes as well. Very good Sauvignon Blanc at $17.82 also. And then the Reineke Sauvignon Blanc from Stellenbosch, the most popular appellation in South Africa. This wine very rich and refined, even on the nose, some toasty oak, vanilla spice, almost Chardonnay-like on the nose. Fresh melon, kind of candied pink grapefruit citrus. Very rich style of Sauvignon Blanc on the palate. Nice creamy texture. Definitely, you can see some batonnage, maybe some stirring on the leaves, some barrel fermentation here or something. But still nice and savory on the finish. You notice that Sauvignon Blanc. Mouth-puckering acidity there. Very good little Sauvignon Blanc. 2 different Sauvignon Blancs, both of them very good. This one $25.74. And then the Fantail by Morgenhof Estates. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc blend. Kind of delectable, medium-bodied wine. Really soft and easy drinking. Some of those floral notes from the Cabernet Franc showing through that blackberry and plum with a little bit of spice in there. Really soft and smooth, a delectable, delicious little wine. Very light at $15.52, light on the wallet as well. All right, the Post House Penny Black Stellenbosch wine. This is kind of tucked to pennies. Post House Penny Black. Okay, well, Post House, I guess, this was an old Post House stop, and all the wine names have got some significant in terms of stamps. The Penny's Black was the very first postage stamp ever printed, and this is from Britain. This wine's a blend of Syrah, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, and Chenin Blanc. Okay, well, they do put a little white wine in with the reds in the Northern Rhone, a la Côte Rôtie, so maybe that's where they got this idea from. This was, as I mentioned before, an old post house. This wine's got some dark currant and black plum-like fruit notes, of violent floral notes, eucalyptus, dark cocoa, fairly complex nose here. Big and chewy wine on the palate. Has some tannins here, some of that herbal notice showing through on the finish. Dark spices and espresso notes. A little bit dry, but with a little food, this wine really stood out. $27.06. Pretty reasonable for an excellent bottle of red like this. And then the Post House Missing Virgin. And this is another stamp reference to a stamp from the Bahamas where the postage stamp came out. It was missing the picture of the Virgin on it or something. I don't know. Anyways, it's nice to have a story behind the wine. But hey, the wines are in the bottle. This wine is mostly my favorite grape in the world, Pinotage, 70%. And then a little bit of Petit Verdot thrown in there. The hints of blueberries, kind of fruitcake. A little bit of that burnt rubber showing on the nose. But one of the best Pinotage blends that I've had from South Africa. One of the top wines on the table, this Groot Constantia Shiraz. A little bit lighter in style, but lovely black currant and blackberry fruit, notes of black licorice spice, some fresh black earth, sweet tobacco. A big and chewy wine on the palate, but really soft at the edges. Drinking nicely, smooth and round tannins. A lovely fruit and a nice core of spice there. Very good little wine for $17.82. And then the Reineke Capstone. This wine is another Bordeaux-style blend with Syrah thrown in. Kind of the best wines made in South Africa to me are Bordeaux blends or Syrah. Syrah and Bordeaux blend combined. This one's Cabernet Syrah and Merlot. Nice amount of that dark plum and cherry fruit with some fine herbs and damp earth notes on the nose, some dark cocoa. Really big and chewy wine on the tongue with good grip. These wines really more old world in style than new world in style, so not big and ripe and jammy and fruity, even though they got a lot of nice fruit. A little bit dry on the finish. These wines all need a little food, and but wonderful freshness here, wonderful balance. A very good little bottle of Bordeaux/Syrah blend from South Africa, $25.74, and that's what I had to drink at the South African tasting at Cafe Max. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.